Hello everyone, it's Rachel. Welcome to my channel and to today's video, which is another pregnancy update and possibly the last one before baby comes. I'm now 38 weeks pregnant by the time you see this video. It'll be close to 39 weeks. So we are just about there. Technically, baby could come at any time, though I'm not expecting it to come until closer to the between the 39-40 week mark. There's been a lot going on the past couple weeks, the past month, just to get all ready for baby. We are down to the final stretch. My symptoms are really ramping up as we get close to that due date. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So starting off as usual with a little description of baby's growth and development at 38 weeks. Your baby weighs about 7 pounds and is continuing to build up fat under the skin. The digestive system is now capable of digesting liquid foods, and your baby is busy peeing at regular intervals. Your little one's skin is now a pinkish red color. Most of the lanugo, the body hair, is now gone, and any remaining amount will fall out soon after birth. Your baby won't be rolling over as often. Instead, you may notice a persistent kick underneath your ribs on one side or the other. Although the type of movement will have changed, the frequency should not. You should continue to feel your baby as frequently as before, and if you notice any change in your baby's regular pattern of movement, you should report it to your healthcare provider immediately. If your baby is a boy, his testes will have dropped into his scrotum, and if your baby is a girl, her labia will be prominent. Your due date is almost there. So at this point, my hospital bag has been packed for a couple weeks. I'm the kind of person that likes to have my hospital bag packed about a month in advance. So it's been packed for a little while. If you're interested in seeing what is in my hospital bag, I'll link the video I made about that down below for you guys so you can watch it. We've also kind of sat down and talked through how things are going to go with Tobias. In my first pregnancy, I had no other kids, so that wasn't really something we had to figure out. So this time, Elias and I had to sit down and figure out where Tobias was going to go depending on the situation and how that was going to look. So we figured all that out, kind of have a plan of how things are going to go down once labor kicks in. Of course, depending on how and when it starts, it'll look different, but we have a good idea of how things are going to go. I've also finally finished up with freezer meals for the most part. Probably still, if I am making a meal and it's something I can easily double, I will, because that was something that was just so helpful when Tobias was born, is having all those freezer meals. I think I hardly had to do any cooking for like 2 weeks. That did also include people from our church and stuff bringing meals for us, but it was just so nice to not have to worry about cooking, especially that first week. The second week, it was like a bonus, but that first week, it was really, really nice just because I was dealing with so many other things and cooking wasn't really something I wanted to have to think about or bother with. So I put big priorities on that this time. I've got a pretty good stash in our freezer, but if I have the chance to add more, I will. I definitely felt a little bit more behind this time in getting ready for baby than the first time around, just because with a toddler, it's a lot harder to focus just on that. Well, you can't focus just on that. You also have to focus on your toddler. It felt like it took a lot longer for me to feel ready. Everything is pretty much ready to go now. We've got the car seat in the car already. We've bought everything we need. There's a couple things that we'd still like to pick up, but they're not like essential or anything. So yeah, everything is pretty much ready to go, but I just felt like it took so much longer to get to that point. But for right now, since all that stuff is now done, I'm just taking time to focus on taking my red raspberry leaf tea and dates to just get my body ready for labor, making sure I'm getting enough exercise, making sure I am mentally prepared for this baby, going to bed earlier. That was something that I regretted in my first pregnancy, because when I went into labor with Tobias, we went to bed, I don't know, around 10:30 or even 11. It was pretty late. And then my water broke at 11:30. So we didn't have like any time to sleep. And then we're up all night laboring, and it was just a lot. So this time around, I wanted to make sure that I'm gonna get the rest I need before I go into labor, making sure I'm going to bed early, and if I'm feeling really exhausted and I have a chance to take a nap, just so that I have that extra bit of energy when the baby actually is ready to go and we're going into labor. So I had a midwife appointment about a week ago. I'll have another one coming up in just a couple days. At that appointment, they just made sure I knew when to page them, like the different cases, if my water breaks, if I'm having contractions, if I'm bleeding, anything like that. They also offered me a stretch and sweep, but we decided not to do it then, because at that point I was only like 37 weeks. Well, a little over 37 weeks. But I wanted to wait just a little bit longer. I didn't feel like I was quite ready, just in case it happened to put me into labor. Everything's ready to go. There was just a couple like small things that I wanted to get done before baby comes, just to get ahead a little bit. And so I just didn't feel quite ready. So we decided to wait, but at my next appointment, I will probably take advantage of that, because at that point I will be about 39 weeks. And at the 39-week point, I'm good to go. I'm ready to get this baby out. They also checked my blood pressure and measured my belly. Everything's looking good. Baby's heartbeat was good. I can't remember. I think it might have been like 140, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember super well. But yeah, everything is looking good. I've also been doing a little bit of research and looking into how to help Tobias with the whole transition, because of course he's only 18 months, so he doesn't totally get what's going on. You know, we talk about baby and like he'll see my belly, but I don't know how much of it he really gets. So I've just been doing a little bit of looking into like, how can I help him transition once the baby comes, because I know it's going to be a bit of a shock for him, since I can't really sit down and explain to him, oh, we're going to have a baby, you're going to have a new brother and sister, and this is what it's going to be like. He's a little bit too young to really understand. Trying to find out how I can best help him through that transition and make him still feel loved and make him feel a part of it. I know it's probably going to be a little bit rough for him for the first little while, so just finding out what steps I can take to just really make it as smooth a transition for him as possible. All right, so that's pretty much everything that's just been going on, all the stuff that's been happening, what we've been doing just in these last few weeks. So now moving on to what my symptoms are now at 38 weeks pregnant. I've definitely been feeling tired. I do not have a ton of opportunities to nap. Just with Tobias, like when he's awake, I need to be awake. And then usually when he's napping, that tends to be when I'm less tired. I tend to be tired more like around 10ish in the morning. That's when I kind of crash a little bit. And then in the afternoon, I've got a little bit more of like a energy rush. And so I take advantage of that with stuff I need to get done that I didn't get done while he was awake. So I'm trying to just make sure I'm going to bed earlier so that I do get that extra rest. I've also been feeling lots of pressure from the baby. Baby has definitely moved down. They've been pretty low for a while now, but getting lots of pressure. I'm also still having nausea if I get hungry, so I'm having to snack a lot. There are some days where like I'll just snack here and there, and other days I feel like I'm constantly snacking because I'm just constantly feeling a little bit off unless I'm eating. So some days is better than others, but that's definitely something I've been dealing with. It's gotten a little bit worse than it was before now that we're getting closer to due date and baby's packing on all that fat. Also been getting a lot of the nerve pain or sciatica. It used to only happen on the outside of my right leg. Very specific. But now it's been happening on both legs, and it's been happening on the outside and the inside. And it's pretty uncomfortable. It's been ramping up a bit now that we're getting closer to the baby coming. It's mostly when I'm sitting. And then I'll stand up, kind of stretch it out a little bit, and then it'll go away. Sometimes it can be a bit persistent. Fortunately, I don't deal with it when I'm lying down, which is nice. I think I've only had once or twice where I had it a little bit when I was lying down. So it's not really a problem at night, which is good. It's not keeping me from sleeping or anything. I've also been getting a lot of like kicks from the baby to my bladder. My bladder has been having a rough time. I don't remember Tobias hitting my bladder as much as this baby has. It is very uncomfortable, and there's been some nights where I just can't sleep because the baby is kicking my bladder so much, and it kind of hurts. And I'm also like then constantly having to get up to go to the bathroom to try to empty the bladder to see if that helps. That's not been very fun to deal with. And lastly, I have been having a lot of Braxton Hicks. The midwife suggested that if I'm having a lot, to make sure I'm staying hydrated and drinking lots of water, because that will help ease the Braxton Hicks. So I have been trying to make sure I'm taking enough water. And I know when I was pregnant with Tobias, a lot of the Braxton Hicks I got, it was mostly when I was like walking. That's when they would come a lot. With this baby, it's totally different. I'll just be standing at the sink doing the dishes and I'll get some Braxton Hicks. I'll be, I don't know, sitting with Tobias playing and get one. And it's been just a lot more sporadic and a lot more often than I got with Tobias. They're not painful or anything. It's just lots of pressure and it's tight and it can be a little bit uncomfortable sometimes, but most of the time it's pretty mild and it's not really a big deal. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much everything for my 38-week pregnancy update. I'll just show you guys my belly quickly, how I'm looking, and yeah, then we'll wrap things up. Okay, so this is the belly at 38 weeks. I feel like, I don't know for sure, but I feel like I am bigger than I was with Tobias. I don't think by a lot, probably just by a little bit, but yeah, probably just because my body knows what it's doing, so it gets a little bit ahead of itself. So yeah, that is how we're looking. Again, baby still hangs out pretty much constantly on this side. So I'm a little bit, you can't really see on camera, but a little bit lopsided. But yeah, that is my bump at 38 weeks. Thank you guys so much for being here and for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to leave it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you can stay tuned for future videos and the birth vlog or birth story once baby comes. Also, be sure to check out my Instagram. That is where I will be posting first once baby comes, because it does take a little while to film a video, put it together, and upload it and everything like that. So if you want to be one of the first to know when baby comes, then definitely check out my Instagram. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.